Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today's video is a bit different from my usual videos that I post here on this channel, but basically today we're going to be doing a haul of some stationery products that I got recently. Do want to mention some of these are brand new. I just got them and I've only basically swatched them. Others, like this notebook, I've had them for a little bit and I've already used them, but I still wanted to mention them. And basically the point of this video, I'm not the most pro haul videos type of person. I feel like they encourage excess consumerism in a way, and it kind of encourages people to buy a lot of things that they don't really need. But the point of this video is that on this video, I mostly have brands that I don't really see, or products, mostly products slash brands that I don't really see that much on the bullet journal side of YouTube. And kind of based off of that, since most people always use the same kind of products, I usually kind of buy those products because those are the ones that I see people using, and I assume that those are like the best quality ones since people go for them the most. And I've come to find that it's usually just because since people see them a lot, like I do, they just go for them, and some of those products haven't really been working for me. So yeah, these products that I have here are products that I bought in an attempt to find alternatives for usual products on bullet journal YouTube. So like Tombow dual brush pens, Micron fine liners, the typical bullet journals. So I thought I'd mention some of these because, like myself, probably you never really considered these products, or you never even knew that they existed, and maybe this will give you more alternatives, more options to consider when you are going to buy stationery products to use in your bullet journaling, your planning, drawing, whatever you need them for. So yeah, let's get started with the video. We're going to start with this notebook. So before we get on with the actual haul, I want to mention something. I live in Portugal, and I am going to be mentioning some of the prices of these items just so you have a point of comparison, I guess. So those prices are going to be in euros, and also the price of the products. What I'm going to mention is basically according to the items that I usually find here, whether that is in physical stores or Amazon. There is no Amazon Portugal. We buy things from Amazon through Amazon Spain. So that is something just to keep in mind, okay? Starting with the notebook. This is gorgeous. It has a bit of markings on here. Please disregard that. That was 100% me. I've had this one for about a month, I think. I haven't really used it that much because I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to use it. The brand is Origami. I believe that this brand is German. I don't know what got on here. Sorry. The brand is Origami. The name is beautifully in golden here. And yeah, it's kind of like the typical Art and Olive notebook therapy ones. The ones that I usually use are from Notebook Therapy, and keep in mind, I love the notebook therapy ones. My only caveat with them is actually two. First, they're expensive. Second, at least for Portuguese economy standards. And second, they come from China, which is outside of the European Union, which means that they get stuck in customs, and on top of their price, I have to pay for import fees, which is a bit of a bummer. But usually they have really nice promotions, either when they release collections and you can buy like 2 or more with a discount, or for Black Friday, which I actually bought 2 for Black Friday, and honestly the discount was awesome. And sometimes I do get lucky and they don't get stuck in customs. But basically what I wanted was, I use B5 notebooks. This is a B5, so is this one. I wanted to find an alternative for a B5 journal that wasn't as expensive. These for notebook therapy, if they're at their normal price, they are usually around like 32 something, as far as the B5 ones, which are bigger than the A5 ones. And when I buy them in discount, I think the last 2 that I got with the promotions, and I was lucky they didn't get stuck in customs, I think I got 2 for like 54 euros. Could be getting that wrong, but I do remember that the discount for Black Friday was pretty cool, and yeah, so it was a nice deal. But still, it's usually around like 30 something 20 up there if I'm lucky. And I wanted to have an alternative that was maybe a little bit cheaper, just so that I could try out and have as a backup in case I need to buy like a new notebook if I'm not doing that well financially and I can't really splurge on these bad boys, because these are a bit of a splurge for me, or if I just want a bit of a more basic notebook, as not like a bullet journal, but maybe as a diary or as, I don't know, just a recipe book, something of the sort. And I went on Amazon, and surprisingly, there were very little choices for B5 notebooks. But I found this one from Origami. They had a few, and I like this one the best, not gonna lie. The other ones looked a little bit on the cheaper side. I think this brand is from Germany. I could be wrong. I know it's European. Might not be German. Don't quote me on that. The only difference really is that it has the little pen holder as far as like aesthetic goes, and that the detailing is a different color from the actual notebook. Usually with notebook therapy, everything matches. These have this kind of different style. One thing to note, th28 pages, whilst these from notebook therapy, I believe, are 172. So it is a considerable difference as far as pages go. That being said, these are around the 30 euro mark, and this one was 15, so it's half the price. And they come through Amazon, and they're on Amazon Prime, so no shipping. Like notebook therapy, they don't charge any shipping, but it gets to me in a day, two, no import fees. So if you're from Europe like me and you need an alternative, there you go. Do you want to mention, I have used it a little bit. The paper is, I believe it's the same type of paper as the notebook therapy ones, as far as the fact that they are quite thick and they don't bleed through. At least I have tried them. I have done here. My idea for this one is to make it into a content planner. So I tried this sort of situation for December. Didn't really work out. This is really just like a test run. This is watercolor, and it didn't bleed through at all. The paper is just a little bit like, you know, when you use watercolor and the paper gets a little bit wavy, that happened a little bit, but that's about all of it. I will say the paper is a bit different from the notebook therapy ones, in the sense that the notebook therapy ones are like pure matte, and this feels a little bit silky. And as you can see, I use a gel pen. You actually can't see that, sorry. I use a gel pen, and it's smudged, even though I had waited a little bit for before I erased the pencil marks underneath, and it's still smudged. And usually with the notebook therapy ones, that doesn't happen, but that was the only issue. Other than that, maybe just give it a bit of a longer moment for it to dry. But also, I think that if you're particularly picky with these, this is like a stark white, and this is a bit more on the yellow side, though it's still a white yellowy. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, basically that's a notebook. Honestly, given the price point, I'm really happy with it. I expected way worse, but yeah, I feel like it's a really good alternative if you're on a more of a lower budget to the notebook therapy ones, or if you just need one in a hurry. I don't know. I really like it. I think it's pretty cute. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. And yeah, I will say I didn't like their design options. This was the cutest one. The other ones I wasn't as much of a fan. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Where are they? It does come with stickers. Yeah, forgetting these because I don't really use these, but I still keep them just in case I have the occasion. But it does come with these 3 sticker sheets, which are pretty cute. And if you're a sticker person that uses like stickers in your bullet journal, this might really come in handy. I don't usually use stickers in mine. I just like use them to decorate my laptop or something. I will see if I find a use for them. So yeah, that's it for the notebook. Moving on to the rest of the product. Okay, this one I know is definitely a German brand, because it says so on the package. But yeah, these are the Lyra markers, and I had seen them, I think, on Instagram, because I do follow a few bullet journalers from Germany, I believe, and I had seen them. But since, you know what, since on YouTube everyone basically uses tombow, and I hadn't seen these in any physical stores here, I had just never bought them. And the other day, well, it was like 2 weeks ago, my notion of time is messed up, I saw them on Amazon, and they were actually cheaper than the usual tombows. I thought they would be around the same price, but they're actually cheaper. These were I think they were like 12 euros. So basically like 2 each in the set. The tombows here, they're getting a bit out of hand. Honestly, if you buy them individually, usually I bought them at Amazon for like 3 something, and okay, I guess. Now they're at 4.20, which feels a little bit insane to me if you ask me, but yeah, these looked pretty cute. I believe you can also buy them individually. At least I saw some online stores in Portugal that carry these individually. Amazon, I think I only saw packs. Still, 12 for 6 of these looked pretty cool, and I tested these out, just swatched them a little bit, and they looked really nice. I'm gonna swatch these at the end, as well as the other brush pens that I have on here, just to show you guys. But yeah, they are essentially like the tombows in the sense that they, I'm gonna open these. They have the brush pen, kind of looks like a tombow, and they have the fine liner at the tip. So yeah, basically like the tombow equivalent, but from a European brand. I think Hansen has something to do with this. I don't know if it's from the group. Oh no, it's recommended on Hansen paper, so it's basically like some type of partnership. Philly Group company. Yeah, it's probably affiliated to some of those companies. Really like these from the swatches. I have yet to try them out on like actual drawings, but for lettering, these looked pretty awesome. Moving on. These are more brush pens, but some of these are different. I didn't know that the brand, I believe this is from the same brand that does the, yeah, it's Sakura, that does the Pigma Micron fine liners, had brush pens. And turns out they do. I bought these actually quite a while ago, but I never used them. I don't know why. I bought them at a physical store. I don't remember how much they were. I believe they were under 3 euros each. I think they were 2 something. I remember I bought them because I thought the colors were cute. I had never seen them before, and I thought, they're not that expensive for like what they are. So I thought I'd try them out. The only thing is with these ones, they don't have a fine liner. I'm actually fine with that because a lot of times I just use them for lettering. Though I have to say, lately, I have been getting used to using the brush pen to draw and make lettering, and then like using the fine liner for some details, or actually just fine lining things without using a black fine liner in my bullet journal, like some borders or just actually the layout for the bullet journal layout. But I'm actually fine with this. And one thing I will mention, because I have beef with the tombows in the sense that they are so long, kind of like this one. This is slightly shorter. When I put them in a pencil case, I have to like pry them out, especially if I have more than just like 2 or 3 in there. Since these are like the size of a normal pen, I don't have that problem. I can easily put them in a pencil case, and if I have more in the future, which I probably will get because these are a lot cheaper, I don't have a problem. I saw on Amazon, because I was curious while I was preparing the haul, I saw a pack of 24 of these for 35 euros. And I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued. That really got me interested in testing out more colors of these, because I only got in the pink range. I don't know why I only have warm tones, since I usually kind of go for blues or purples, but yeah. Again, I will swatch these in a little bit. And then I got this one when I got the other 2 for the 3, sorry, for the Koi brand. I didn't know that Faber-Castell had like dual markers. I know that they have their artist pit ones that have a brush pen, and I have a few of those from years back. Don't really love them. I don't love the brush pen, at least not for bullet journaling or lettering. I have used them for like shading and drawings, but not for this. The tip is like this, and then the fine tip is like that. Will say this says barrel and cap are 100% recycled plastic, which is pretty good, dope, I guess. And one thing that these have that the Lyra ones and the Koi ones don't have, which kind of annoys me, is that it actually has this shade number. Let me check, because I might be misspeaking. Okay, no, sorry. These have a color name. The Lyra ones, I think, are the ones that don't have anything. I'm pretty sure they don't. Oh, flesh tint, like, okay. They have like descriptions, they just don't have the numbers, kind of like Tombow does. This does have a number. So yeah, that's a difference. My bad. But yeah, I love this one. I love this one so much. And they are still kind of pricey, but you know what? They are dual markers. I can understand why these would be more expensive than these, because this is just a brush pen. It doesn't have the other use. Still on Amazon, these are like, if I'm not mistaken, I saw that they were $2.99. So that is $2.99 versus Tombow's $4.20. Still pretty dope. And honestly, I tried this out a few times, just like swatches and things, and it felt pretty identical. And they also have packs. You know how they have their artist pick ones? They have like shades like of gray for shading, and then they have like a few themed packs. They have those, and you can also buy individual ones. Really like this. Again, I will be swatching these. Now I want to go for this. I have been really into trying other options for fine liners that aren't black fine liners and bullet journaling. I find that sometimes I can really give a different pop to things. So I wanted to try a few different options, but I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. And I was browsing on Amazon and I found this, which by the way, I didn't realize that they had their own brand stationery items, and I found these. This is basically a set of 24 felt tips. This is like $6.50. Yeah, like €6.50, which I thought, you know what, if these are horrible, it's gonna be a bit of a waste as far as materials goes, but price range, I'm not gonna be wasting a lot of money. And if I don't like them, I can easily just like donate them. So it's not going to be that wasteful. We'll say these 100% do not have any type of shade identification whatsoever, and they come like this, so they're not even like shade arranged. But we'll say I have swatched them and I tested them out when I got them, and I'm actually pretty happy with these. Like, they feel pretty legit. Like, they look like this. So it isn't like your usual fine liner nib, I guess you could say, or felt tip, I guess. Camera's not focusing. There you go. It's like that. But honestly, it feels like a bit of a mix between a felt tip and a gel pen, in the sense that it's a bit more opaque. Like sometimes felt tips, you know, the color payoff isn't really there. These are pretty dope. Again, I'm gonna be swatching these in a second, but if you're looking for some alternatives for felt tips or like thin markers, we're gonna be testing these. I actually really like them. For the price, they were a pleasant surprise, but I'm gonna be swatching them so you guys can see for yourself. Now on to the last item, which I have to say is kind of my favorite. I didn't realize how much I was gonna be enjoying this, and I'm kind of obsessed. These Winsor & Newton fine liners. I know I just said I've been looking for alternatives for black fine liners, and I have been. However, I still firmly love a black fine liner as a staple, and I will go back to them pretty much every time, if not just for like the drawing, for filling out the actual bullet journals, or sometimes writing with them. I actually like the feeling of writing with a fine liner. I'm weird, I know, yeah. But basically, why I was looking for this is because while everyone loves or seems to love the Micron Pigma fine liners, I hate them. I don't know why everyone loves them. I don't know if like everyone secretly hates them and no one just mentioned them because we think it's expected that everyone loves them. I hate them. I don't know why people love them, and I have tried, besides those, I have tried the Artline ones and the Grapho ones. And though those were a little bit better in some regards, I still felt like I could find something probably out there, even if it was a bit more expensive, which these are. We'll say that. These are more expensive than those that I've mentioned. I thought, if it's worth it, if it's a better quality product, if it helps me out, it'll be worth it. And honestly, this was so worth it. These were $14.50 through Amazon, I believe, so it's about €3 each. If you do the math, it's basically 15 rounded up. It's basically €3 each. And the Micron ones, I usually get them for $1 something, so it's about double the price. Yes, I know it's more expensive, and we were going for a bit of an alternative as far as more economical items. For this one, is really about the quality for me. I tried these out, and as soon as I opened one, I was like, oh, I like you. They have a few different sets. So this one is the 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.8, and 0.1. And then they have a set, which I believe is the 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, and I don't remember what the other ones were. I don't know if it's like 0.7, 0. It's not gonna be 0.9. Is there 0.9? Basically, it was like the other options that exist besides these ones. And then they also have, you can buy them individually, which they are more expensive if you buy them individually, at least through Amazon. I didn't check the prices for these in other websites. And you also have sets for like 5 of the 0.1, 5 of the 0.3. So if you always just use one of these sizes, you can buy 5 of that. So it will make it cheaper for you, and you don't have to like buy the whole set of sizes of pen that you don't use. Does that make sense? Hope it does. I'm gonna open one of these for you guys to see. I will be swatching these as well, but you will get what I mean as soon as I open these. Look at that. Look at that. Like, I don't know, there is something about the way that it's built that it actually helps me to make smoother lines and make my writing smoother. I'm gonna show you a bit of an example of what I mean by that. I have tested them a little bit, and I may or may not have been using the 0.3 a lot because I'm obsessed, and I will be buying a set of 5 for the 0.3 sometime soon. I'm gonna show you an example. So you see this? This was with a Pigment Micron 0.2. Now it was, this was for week 1 and week 2 of the month, and we're approaching week 3. So I started to set up my second weekly page. This is with the Windsor 0.3. I'm gonna put these side by side. Do you see the difference in the line? Like, okay, I'm the same person. These were written by the same person, and sure, I could be a bit unfair here because these Pigment Micron has been used before, and this was basically brand new, but still, it's this one, like the marker that I used for this one wasn't old by any means. It wasn't damaged, like the nib isn't damaged, and still, like this looks immaculate, and the lines are super cute. And this one looks weird. Like, you can see that the densities are super different. Like, the lines are super thin and then super thick. It looks kind of sloppy. And I always wondered, because I would see setups for people that are using these markers or other materials, and their lines look super perfect, and whatever they write looks immaculate. And mine looks so sloppy. I was like, why is this happening? You see, like, the lines look weird. And sure, there is a marker underneath these ones, and still not underneath these ones. And the lines are a bit shaky because my hands are a bit shaky. But you can really tell with the numbers. Like, look at that. It's immaculate. And I have tried writing with the 0.3, like I said, because for some reason I really adored this density. And my handwriting looks immaculate. Adorable. And it's just so clean, and I don't know what it is. I actually feel like it's in part because of the way that the marker is shaped and not necessarily the nib. I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of like an ergonomical issue, or the way that it sits in my hand. Maybe I hold pens weird, I don't know. But it definitely works way better for me. And an issue that I usually have with markers, or at least with fine liners, is that the nib gets damaged so quickly, so quickly. I start to use it and I immediately notice that the nib starts to get like a bit squashed. Or if I use it like this and I'm like not perfectly holding it like at a 90-degree angle from the paper, that it starts to like tilt. You know what I mean? Like that the pen, the way that it draws stops being uniform. Does that make sense? So I will have lines that are like super perfect, and then if I move the pen a little bit, it will start to get all squiggly and weird. And I wasn't really done with that problem. I hate it, and I'm trying to see if I can find something in my bullet journal that I can like illustrate. Yeah, okay, see. Here's my sleep tracker. Please disregard the fact that it's not filled out before, because I only finished the setup on the 5th. But you can see the lines. Can you see? Again, this is with the Micron Pigment 0.2, sorry. Here, it looks very thick. Then it's not as thick anymore. I don't know, like the lines are inconsistent, and like I said, the marker isn't old. It's not old. It's like I hadn't really used the 0.2 that much before, and I started using it because the 0.1 that isn't that old as well is already looking a bit deformed. So yeah, and that also happens with the artline ones. The artline ones, I will say that they don't get damaged as quickly, but for some reason, I don't know if it's just what the brand prefers, but for some reason, like in comparison with the Pigma Micron ones, I feel like I keep on saying like Micron, Pigma Microns. In comparison to those, they were a lot thicker. Like the 0.1 from Artline is thicker than the 0.1 from Pigma Micron, and the 0.2 is thicker than the 0. You know what I mean? And I feel like they're a bit too thick. That's the only issue that I have with them. Sure, they end up deteriorating as well, but honestly, not as quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna try all of these out now really quickly for you guys. I am gonna be swatching most of these off camera, just so that we're not here for 5 years. Okay, so I'm gonna be swatching most of these off camera, and then I will swatch some things here on camera just so you see how the pens move. Okay, so I'll be right back. Back with the swatches. Sorry for the light change. The sun went down a little bit as I was watching these. So these are the fine liners from Amazon, or felt tips. As you can see, the color is quite opaque. I tried to do these as in order of color as possible, but I'm gonna switch this so you can see all of the shades. They aren't ordered, so I had to kind of eyeball it, and there's this shade which is kind of like a mauve, but in camera it's kind of picking up as a bit of a brown. Yeah, pretty opaque. As you can see, I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna use a few just live on camera just so you can see a little bit how they write. Let's see if I can do this. Boom. And I'm gonna try and use a few more just so you guys can have a bit of an idea of how they actually write in, well, real life, I guess. Let's use that. I think this is the mauve. Yeah. I wanted to write something and I didn't know what to write with all of them, so I just wrote Amazon Basics Glue because that's the brand. Let's try the black one. I was actually really surprised with these, given the price point on them. Like I said, these were like $6.50, which for 24 is pretty sweet deal. Yeah, like I said before, they're a bit of a like weird hybrid between a felt tip and a gel pen. At least they don't, I don't know, they feel like they glide a bit more than a regular felt tip. So in that sense, they kind of feel like a bit of a gel pen. So anyway, these were the felt tips from Amazon. Now moving on to the rest of the items. So here are the, well, they're not really swatches, they're kind of just tests for the fine liners from Winsor & Newton. So here you can see like the difference between the thicknesses of them. Didn't mention before, none of this is sponsored or anything like that. If you look at my channel, you'll pretty much realize that I don't have the audience level for that. But yeah, everything was bought with my own money. There are no affiliate links. There's no sponsorship, anything of the sort. Basically, yeah, anything of what I say regarding how much I like a brand or something on this video is really just a product of how much I like the items. So I'm gonna try some of these dual pens because I feel like it's important to know what they actually work like in real life, I guess. So here's our Faber-Castell one. One thing I like about both the Faber-Castell ones and the lighter ones, the product feels very watercolory. Not as much with the koi ones, though they still look really pretty, but they look very watercolor. Like, yeah. You can also kind of like change the color payoff depending on the pressure that you apply. It's very kind of liquidy. That's what I meant with the watercolor thing, and that is also true with the fine tip, though it's not as evident. but it still feels like still glides very smoothly and still feels a bit like watery in a sense. Now for the koi ones, salmon pink, this is the fuchsia. One thing I will say, the caps don't really match the colors that well, but that's a bit of a small issue. And this one is a bit more neon in real life than it is on camera. But like I said, small issue. And coral red. Now for the lighter ones. Okay, sorry, that one's in the wrong place. This one is a pale orange. This one's the Naples yellow. You can see with this shade what I was saying about the Faber-Castell one. Now that it's a bit dried up, you can kind of see like the difference in the color. Here I applied more pressure than here, and you can see the color is completely different. It's kind of like a watercolor. And here as well, like the color becomes a lot darker when I apply more pressure to it rather than just boom. See that? Which I really like because it gives a bit of a more like another dimension to whatever you're coloring in with this, and it makes lettering looks really cute, at least in my aesthetic, I guess. So flesh tint light. Okay, I just realized I didn't actually try the fine tips for these, so I'm gonna do that really quickly. Naples yellow. These are actually like, the fine tip is super comparable to tombow. I can't really distinguish them all that much. It's just kind of the same thing. Medium. It even like looks the same actually. So. A bit closer. Sorry, I'm trying to do this as best as I can with the setup that I have going on, because this is my phone that's recording, so makes it a little bit shaky. But yeah, guys, these are the swatches. As you can see, a bit of a more watercolor vibe with these. I would say that the larger ones, if you guys know the Echelene brush pens, they're very like watercolor like. I would say that these are a bit of a hybrid between the tombows and the Echelene ones, at least in the finished result. And yeah, the Faber-Castell ones, maybe they're not as fine as these, but I still really like the color and the way that it comes out. The koi ones, I feel like they were the more normal ones, I guess you could say. There is the disadvantage that they don't really have the fine tip one, but if you don't really use that, that's honestly not a problem, and they are the cheapest ones out of all of them that I've tried so far. So yeah, back to the Amazon basics. Guys, I hope that this was useful in any way. Like I said, this was mostly like to give you guys alternatives to products that are the most popular ones here on bullet journal side of TikTok. Not TikTok. God, I'm not even on TikTok. YouTube. Apologies. But yeah, just to give you some alternative to products that are usually used on social media regarding bullet journaling, because I feel like pretty much everyone uses the why are words failing me right now? The same kind of products all the time, at least as their staples. And I feel like there are a lot of cool options out there that can also be explored and used, and if maybe, and also more affordable, because like I said, most of these are, well, not most of these, all of these are cheaper than the tombow ones, which are kind of like the staple. And maybe these brands aren't as maybe they don't have as much color options, or maybe they're not as easy to find if you're outside of Europe, because like I said, these are German, so maybe these are not accessible in the United States or other countries. I'm not sure, but maybe wherever you are in the world, maybe some of these products will be a nice alternative for you, or maybe they will become favorites, I guess, instead of other products that are more of a social media trend, I guess. Because like I said, these, for example, the fine liners, these work beautifully for me, and maybe the micron pigments, which I really do not like, maybe those work beautifully for other people, and that's why they talk about them, or maybe they just talk about them because they don't know about other alternatives. So yeah, guys, basically I feel like I got a bit too excited and I spoke for way too long, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was useful. If it was, please do let me know, and also if you have other alternatives that I didn't mention that you think I might like considering what I spoke about on this video, please do let me know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.